I just wanted to call the mental hospital. But I never expected that old geezer to play so dirty. He actually pried my mouth wide open and slowly crawled his entire body right down my throat. Just when I thought I was trapped in some sick nightmare, my so-called friend, the guy who always bullied me, came walking right back. My jaw stretched open completely out of my control and I swallowed his entire head right into my mouth. Luckily, Zhongbo reacted just in time and violently yanked his head back out. Freaking out, I desperately tried to explain myself. I swore that I wasn't the one doing it. But to my surprise, Zhongbo looked absolutely terrified. He backed away and yelled, You're a ghost eater?" Hearing that, I was completely lost. What ghost eater? I have no idea what you're talking about. Zhongbo stared at me in total disbelief. You really don't know what a ghost eater is? The second I nodded, all the panic vanished from his face in an instant. The next second, a brutal flying kick smashed right into my face. The sheer force behind it made it clear he didn't care if he killed me. It wasn't until I saw Zhongbo's face start squirming in this grotesque way that I finally realized something was very, very wrong. His head literally morphed into the shape of a horrifying dog, and along with it came that terrifyingly monstrous strength. I was launched several meters through the air. My body slammed violently against a tree trunk, and I instantly coughed up a huge mouthful of blood. It was so obvious Zhongbo was nothing but a monster now. The power he possessed was absolutely inhuman. Agony ripped through my body. I felt like I was going to die, as I watched him raise that heavy wooden stake high into the air. My despair hit absolute rock bottom, with every sickening, heavy thud that echoed out. The rough edge of the tree trunk was being smashed completely flat right before my eyes. But what I hadn't even noticed yet was that aside from a few minor scrapes on my cheek, I hadn't shed a single drop of blood. My body was fine, but mentally, my mind was taking a completely devastating blow. As I felt those razor-sharp fangs getting closer and closer, I kept praying that this was all just a horrible nightmare. Was I really so pathetic? Bullied relentlessly in real life and even in my dreams, I was still nothing but a punching bag. What the hell are you doing? Attack that monster, right now. A rough, unfamiliar voice suddenly exploded in my head. But I was completely paralyzed. I had no idea how to fight back. Because every time I got bullied before, I just took it. I just gritted my teeth and waited for the time to pass. I always told myself it would eventually end. But the voice roared, if you keep playing the victim, the only thing waiting for you is death. Running away just makes you pray. Throw a punch, damn it. You are a ghost eater. The voice in my head just kept screaming at me, relentlessly pushing me into action. I had completely given up all hope, but this time, almost as if I were possessed, my body actually moved on its own to follow the voice. The very next second, a massive explosion erupted right next to my ear. I had literally blasted Zhongbo's entire left arm completely off. I stared at the bloody stump in absolute shock. But his agonizing screams echoing in my ears proved that all of this was real. And now it was Zhongbo's turn to be terrified. I thought you didn't know anything? He screamed. But the voice barked, finish him off, right now. Don't give him a single second to recover. The furious voice in my head commanded me again. My face was completely deadpan, my eyes blank and glazed over. But that dead, soulless stare sent absolute chills straight down Zhongbo's spine. He frantically waved his hands in the air, begging me to stop. He stammered out that he was just messing around earlier. He even had the nerve to whine, hey, aren't we friends? But that single sentence, that was the trigger. It absolutely enraged me. I threw what looked like an ordinary punch, but it slammed into Zhongbo's body with the crushing force of a freight train. Stripped of its human disguise, the monster finally revealed its true, grotesque form. But unfortunately for him, what greeted him was my massive, gaping mouth, waiting to feast. I clamped down, viciously chewing and tearing the monster apart until it was nothing but a bloody pulp. Only then did everything finally go dead silent. It had all happened way too fast. From that utterly bizarre old man earlier to Zhongbo, who was now nothing but shredded pieces of clothing scattered on the ground. This just has to be a dream, right? Oh, this definitely isn't a dream, kid. That same rough voice echoed out once more. Except this time it wasn't coming from inside my head. It was coming straight from my stomach. Oh god, now I was officially losing my damn mind. Because an old man's head literally just popped right out of my stomach. My name is Hong Guangyu. I'm a soul eater, I hunt monsters. My time is running out, so listen closely. I just found out. Zhongbo had been possessed by a monster this whole time. And these monsters that used to live in hell, now crossing over into our world, one by one, to feed on humans. And they have two ways of feeding. The first is flesh eating, literally tearing apart and chewing up human bodies. The second is devouring souls. They feed off of human fear to nourish themselves. But even these twisted monsters have a natural predator, and that's the soul eaters, the ones born to devour them. Which is exactly what I am now. But why me? I asked, completely confused. Meeting you is no coincidence. It's destiny, just like it was for me, 300 years ago. Your path is exactly the same as mine. A cruel, twisted fate. You must stop the messengers of hell. After saying that, the old man just vanished into thin air. No matter how much I screamed for him, I couldn't get another word out of him. Early the next morning, when I walked into the classroom, the fear hit me all over again. Because Zhongbo's seat was completely empty. That meant I really did kill him. I was overwhelmed with guilt. I had no idea how to tell who was a monster. Or how I was supposed to carry this massive burden. But before I could even wrap my head around it, a sudden, agonizing stomach cramp yanked me back to reality. Sitting there on the toilet, I couldn't help but grieve for my best friend, Zhongbo. Thinking about it now, it all made sense. At least the real Zhongbo, he was still my closest friend. But the fact that I killed him, that hadn't changed. For a moment, I didn't know if I felt relieved or just completely destroyed inside. The tears, they just wouldn't stop falling. But right at that moment, a faint glow lit up beneath me. And the next second, the entire bathroom stall was blinded by a flashing golden light. What I saw next completely blew my mind. Because I actually pooped out my best friend. Meanwhile, just from a single phone call, the teacher's body suddenly started mutating in the creepiest way. And me? I literally just went to the bathroom and crapped out my best bro. Seriously, just a moment ago, the whole class was whispering about Zhongbo not showing up. And nobody knew where Go Eum went either. Right then, the teacher walked into the classroom, getting ready to start the lesson early. But the tall guy in the back wasn't having it. Teach? Aren't you a little early? There's literally 3 minutes left before the bell. That's weird, my watch says it's time to start. Whatever, let's just start the lesson. But the tall guy just smirked and shot back. You're violating our human rights. Get out. The teacher let out a tired sigh. Fine, I'll come back in 3 minutes. Then he turned around and muttered under his breath. Do you pigheads even know what human rights are? But he didn't realize the tall guy had heard every word. Did you just call us pigheads? Seeing what was happening, the rest of the class immediately pulled out their phones and started recording. The moment the teacher saw the cameras, he panicked about it going viral, so he quickly bowed his head and apologized. But the tall guy wasn't letting it go. I freaking hate it when people apologize after the fact. Kill him. And then boom, a massive explosion shook the room. Outside the window, something was squirming around. It was a giant, grotesque tentacle slowly sliding past the classroom window. No way, this has to be fake. Some film crew must be shooting a drama nearby. Yeah, it's definitely just CGI. Are you out of your mind? How could CGI literally exist in real life? Right then, the teacher's phone started ringing. And as soon as he heard the voice on the other end, a creepy, twisted smile spread across his face. You finally returned. For 300 whole years I've been waiting for this exact day to come. I'll prepare the freshest, most tender meat for you right now. Hearing this creepy conversation, the curious students turned to look. But what they saw absolutely terrified them. The teacher's body was twisting and mutating right before their eyes. You fat pigs were always meant to be nothing but livestock for us. Lord Hell Ghost has finally returned. Savage Comics presents. As he spoke, the demon teacher raised a finger dripping with dark aura and tapped it right onto the tall kid's forehead. The tall kid stared in pure terror as the black mist poured directly into his body. In an instant, his terrified expression twisted into a bloated, eerie smile. This was the demon teacher's signature dark art, infection. The infected tall kid snapped his head around toward a screaming classmate behind him and lunged, sinking his teeth right into their neck. Within seconds, the girl was infected too. Instantly, the entire classroom erupted into absolute chaos. One after another, students were tackled and infected. Watching this bloody spectacle, the demon teacher looked incredibly satisfied. It hasn't been this lively in ages. Now, this is what I call living. Meanwhile, just 5 minutes earlier I had gone to the restroom to mourn my best buddy, Zhongbo, whom I had accidentally swallowed. But what I completely didn't expect was a faint glow suddenly shining from right underneath me. As a blinding golden light flooded the entire stall, I somehow managed to crap Zhongbo out, completely intact. It didn't take long for Zhongbo to wake up, staring at the unbelievable sight in front of me. I honestly didn't know if I should be relieved that my best friend was okay, or terrified about what to do if he turned back into a monster. Zhongbo groaned, holding his head in agony. Jiu Ying, seriously, how did I even end up here? I had no choice but to lie on the spot, telling him I was just passing by, heard a noise, and ran in to check it out. I mean, I couldn't exactly tell him I just crapped him out into the toilet, right? But Zhongbo's memory seemed a little messed up. He only remembered getting bitten by a dog on his way home. Hearing that, it suddenly hit me. Wasn't that the exact moment he got possessed by the monster? Could it be? Just then, Zhongbo noticed a strange symbol on his arm. What the hell is this? Why is this thing on my body? Hearing him say that, I suddenly had a crazy theory. Hey, do you remember what grade we're in right now? Zhongbo looked at me like I was an idiot. 9th grade, obviously. What else would we be? But we're already in 10th grade now. Just to make absolutely sure this wasn't the monster tricking me, I had to test him one more time. Zhongbo, do you remember your favorite game, League of Legends? What lane did your old main champion, Teemo, play? Zhongbo looked completely baffled by the question. Why are we suddenly talking about games? And anyway, why? Why would my main be Timo? We can lose the team fight, but Timo must die. Hearing that classic line, I couldn't hold back my tears anymore. That proved it. The Zhongbo standing right in front of me wasn't a monster in disguise. Zhongbo, welcome back, man. After catching up for a bit, I decided to head out and find him some decent clothes to wear. The second I stepped out of the restroom, a chilling laugh echoed from the hallway. I turned my head in confusion, only to come face to face with an absolutely horrific face. And right behind it, a whole crowd of infected students, slowly shambling toward me. Why are you out here all alone? Come join my herd of livestock. Floating right above the students' heads, the demon teacher glared down at me with a cold, sinister smirk. Terrified, I scrambled straight back into the restroom, but the possessed students swarmed the entrance. They started violently smashing against the wooden door. I had no idea why monsters had suddenly appeared in our school. But I knew I had to get the hell out of there, right now. Just as I was about to jump out the window, my best buddy Zhongbo's voice called out from the stall. Jiu Ying, is that you? Are you back? What's going on out there? Why is it so damn noisy? My head is killing me. It feels like all these messed up memories are flooding into my brain. Why am I remembering scenes of me bullying you? That can't possibly be real, right? Actually, Zhongbo used to be kinder than anyone else. It's all because of those damn monsters. Just 1 year ago, on our way home from school, we ran into a vicious dog in an alleyway heading straight for us. Catching us off guard, the beast bared its fangs and lunged right at us. To protect me, Zhongbo pushed me out of the way and blocked the vicious dog with his own arm. Those razor-sharp fangs sank deep into his flesh. Then the glowing blue light in the beast's eyes suddenly went out. It just inexplicably lost its life and collapsed onto the ground. And that was the exact moment it all started for Zhongbo. His body was taken over by a monster. Over the past year, that thing turned him into a complete freak. If I keep running away like this, nothing is ever going to change. Do I keep running and become their prey, or do I stand my ground and throw a heavy punch? Damn it, I am so done holding back. With that thought, I stripped off my jacket and tossed it to Zhongbo. Put this on. Thank you for always protecting the weak little kid I used to be. Those awful memories flashing through your mind right now, you didn't do those things. The monster did. As I pushed the door open, Mr. Guiru slowly walked in with the rest of the classmates trailing behind him. Oh, you actually opened the door yourself? Since you're such an obedient little livestock, I've decided not to sacrifice you to the hell demons. I'll just save you for myself and eat you. As for me, I am not holding back anymore. And I am definitely not running away. You disgusting monsters. I am the legendary, top-tier demon eater. Get ready to be devoured. Trapped in the bathroom with all my classmates swarming me, my anger boiled over and I snapped open a massive, terrifying mouth. I swallowed all of my classmates whole in a single bite, with the hell demons reappearing in the human world. Our teacher, who had been hiding his true self for 300 years, finally showed his real face. He infected the entire school, turning every single student into a monster. Then, he cornered me in the bathroom. To protect Zhongbo, who was still hiding in the stall, I had no choice but to step up and face the monster. When Mr. Guiru saw that I actually dared to fight back, he couldn't help but burst into maniacal laughter. Livestock that actually puts up a fight tastes so much better. Get him, you worthless pigs. In the very next second, my infected classmates lunged at me with terrifying speed. I couldn't believe this guy was actually using my classmates as his frontline. I totally didn't see that coming. Facing the classmates I saw every single day, I was completely torn. I mean, they were innocent in all of this. But these monsters weren't going to give me a second to think. They grabbed me by the head and violently tackled me to the ground. In a split second, I was buried underneath a swarm of my classmates. They just kept tearing and biting at my flesh. They were even clawing at my eyes. You know what? Every little piece of livestock I turned into a half-demon acts as my very own teeth and tongue. It's been so long since I've tasted flesh this young and tender. However, as my classmates kept ruthlessly tearing into me, Mr. Guiru suddenly realized something was horribly wrong. Wait, why does this taste so weird? This doesn't taste like a human at all. Right at that very moment, a deep voice echoed from inside my body. What on earth are you spacing out for? Are you seriously just going to let them eat you alive? If you keep this up, in less than 10 minutes, there will be nothing left of you but bones. But they used to be just normal humans. They're just being controlled by the monster. Do you honestly still think of them as human? Those people either bullied you relentlessly, or just stood by and watched you suffer coldly. Or they ruthlessly mocked how pathetic you were. Tell me, what's the difference between those people and actual monsters to you? No, they were just terrified of being bullied themselves. Plus sometimes, people did bravely step up to help me. Just like Zhongbo did back then. At the end of the day, humans and monsters are completely different. Hearing this, the old man inside me cracked a warm smile. It seems my judge of character was spot on after all. Congratulations, kid, you passed the test. Right now we are actually inside your stomach. If monsters want to cross into the human world, they have to pass through the rifts of hell. But those rifts are incredibly narrow, so they must completely abandon their physical bodies. They enter our world in a pure spirit form, just drifting around kind of like those eerie ghost flames you see in the movies. In this form, demons don't have any physical strength, so their very first move is to hijack a human body. Once they've possessed a human for a full year, they become the true masters of that body. This is what we call complete demonic possession. Once it reaches this point, standard human exorcisms won't bring the host back. The only way to get rid of the demon is to kill the host along with it. But there is one last way to save someone who's been completely taken over. That's where the demon eater comes in. Any demon devoured by a demon eater will be completely digested in their stomach, and the original host, totally purified, will be pooped right out, perfectly intact. But there is a catch. Demon eater must not harbor any hatred toward humans, because if they despise humanity, the human gets digested right along with the demon. That's exactly why I had to test you earlier. Now, I can finally unlock the true source of your demon eater powers. It's a dangerous, agonizing force. And that is a human's raw, primal hunger. The intense cravings instantly forced my mouth wide open, lunging right at my classmates. With one massive bite, my gigantic jaws swallowed several of them whole. Seeing this, Teacher Ghost Meat was absolutely terrified. What the hell is happening? As for me, I felt like I was losing my damn mind. My stomach felt like I hadn't eaten in 10 straight days. I'm starving. This overwhelming hunger made my mouth stretch to an impossible size. I wanted to devour every single thing in sight. Watching all this unfold, Teacher Ghost Meat finally caught on. Wait, could he be a demon eater? But I wasn't about to let him escape. I threw my massive jaws open and lunged straight at him. Facing my giant mouth, Teacher Ghost Meat instinctively threw up his arm to block. But to everyone's shock, I ripped his entire arm off with a single crunch. But the moment I chewed on that arm, I noticed something completely different. Why does this taste so different from the other students? This feels really strange. It was like every single cell in my body just woke up. This taste is so freaking delicious. Meanwhile, 5 minutes earlier, inside a high-rise building, the top officials of South Korea had all gathered together, bowing respectfully as they spoke. Bodhisattva Tian-yu, are you doing well? What could possibly happen to a woman like me, who only knows a bit of shaman magic? You're the ones working so hard, running South Korea. It turns out, this woman was the legendary Bodhisattva Tian-yu. Every 5 years during the South Korean presidential election, top officials come to her, begging for a shamanic blessing to guarantee their victory at the polls. They all claim it's for the sake of peace and prosperity. A thriving nation is nice, and all but literally anyone can say that. Even if I push you onto the presidential seat, becoming a great leader still depends entirely on your own abilities. If you fail to lead South Korea to glory, you'll all be cast into the terrifying crushing hell when you die. Bodhisattva Tian-yu scattered grains of rice across the table, officially beginning the blessing ritual. But a second later she divined something absolutely terrifying. 1 year from now this country will have no leader? Just as the officials were wondering what the hell she meant, a massive earthquake violently ripped through the city. Bodhisattva Tian-yu's face instantly went pale with dread. She quickly called out to the young girl standing guard nearby. Zhao Ting, tell the monks to gear up for battle. They're going to war. I don't know who gave them the guts to reveal their true forms on my turf. You see, the moment a true glutton awakens, no enemy, no matter how powerful, can ever stop his craving for a good meal. Right in the heart of Seoul, a massive, grotesque monstrosity suddenly appeared. Nobody had a clue what was going on. Only one woman, watching the chaos unfold, knew exactly why it was happening. Master Bai, you've always been full of surprises. I just got back, and you've already prepared this grand spectacle for me? At that exact moment, 2 news helicopters were slowly circling the beast. This is TJB News, broadcasting this horrific disaster lived to the entire nation. The creature looked like a giant, slithering snake attached to a grotesque human head. Suddenly, the beast was drawn in by the chopping of the helicopter blades, muttering over and over under its breath. I'm starving. The very next second, countless terrifying tentacles, covered in gnashing teeth, exploded out of its massive jaws. This is none other than the level 5 yokai of the transformation faction, Baijushi. The tentacles squirmed around, screaming, I'm starving. I'm so hungry, before lunging straight at the nearest helicopter. As the chopper went down, Baijushi locked its sights on the ground below, right where the most meat was. The people who couldn't get away in time were snatched up by the tentacles one by one. Instantly, blood-curdling screams echoed through the entire block. Watching from a distance, Tian-yu Bodhisattva saw the whole thing unfold, her expression turning incredibly grim. Shut down the news and all social media right now. I gave you that position for moments exactly like this. If you can't pull it off, hand over that gold badge on your chest. Hearing this, the terrified official was scared out of his wits and frantically promised he'd get it done. But forgive me for asking, why did that monster just show up out of nowhere? It didn't just show up. These yokai have been hiding among us this whole time. A huge number of the crimes in the human world are actually the work of yokai. Now, there are plenty of soul eaters out there who feed on fear. But seeing one reveal its true form to eat flesh is incredibly rare. That's because the yokai know The second they commit a crime like this, our Tian-yu order will wipe them out instantly. Just then, the radio crackled, confirming they had reached the target zone. Excellent. You may begin the exorcism. Once an appetite like that is awakened, there is absolutely no stopping it. Immediately after, several armed operatives jumped out, one by one. The target was a massive, level 5 yokai. It would take at least 10 exorcism talismans to bring it down. As the parachutes deployed, those gigantic exorcism talismans painted on the canopies burst into view. The eye-catching symbols were instantly spotted by the monster. It whipped its tentacles up, snapping at the descending squad. Though a couple of unlucky operatives were swallowed whole, the vast majority managed to land successfully, sticking their parachutes dead tight against the creature's skin. Then, they popped their backup chutes to make a getaway. Perfect. All 10 exorcism talismans are locked in. Great work, monks. Leave the rest to me. And for those who fell in battle, rest easy. Tian-yu Bodhisattva will personally hold a salvation rite for your souls. Watching his comrades die, an overwhelming rage surged in Jiu Ying's chest as he initiated the sorcery judgment. His razor-sharp twin blades slashed straight for Baijushi's head. At the exact same time, the 3 operatives in the chopper began the exorcism ritual. Seeing this, Jiu Ying stood barefoot on top of his twin blades. Sun, moon, and stars. Gods of heaven and earth. Jade Emperor, Lord Pangu, I offer this monstrous yokai to you. Please, take it away. Cast it down into the 18th circle of hell. As the chanting of the incantation echoed through the air, backed by the 3 operatives playing the ritual music, Baijushi's face turned deathly pale, blood pouring uncontrollably from all its orifices. Meanwhile, back at the school because my ghost eater appetite had been fully triggered, I completely bit off one of Teacher Ghost Meat's arms. For a ghost eater, the flesh and blood of a yokai is the most mouth-watering delicacy in the world. But right as I was lost in that delicious taste, Teacher Ghost Meat's massive hand suddenly slammed into me, smashing me brutally into the ground. Lord Hell Ghost said she already swallowed the ghost eater's orb, which means, this punk is nothing but an empty shell without a single drop of demonic energy. Now's the perfect chance to take him out. But in the very next second, I caught Teacher Ghost Meat's fist dead in its tracks. That ferocious strike from just a moment ago hadn't left a single scratch on me. Can I have another bite? In a flash, I drove a devastating punch straight into his gut. Damn it all, who would have thought the ghost eater would still be this powerful, even without the orb? There's no way I can beat him on my own. Realizing this, Teacher Ghost Meat lashed out, kicking me right in the stomach. The sheer force of the blow sent me flying several meters back. By the time I shook it off, I realized Teacher Ghost Meat had completely vanished from where he just stood. Damn it, do I really have to summon them? The price for their help is way too steep, but if I want to make it out alive, I don't have a choice. Suddenly, a wicked smile crept into Teacher Ghost Meat's eyes. Are you calling for us, my lord? We can certainly help you, but how much are you willing to pay us, my lord? You 2 bastards are crashing in my body, and you still have the nerve to ask me for reward? We can't help it, we're just starving. But forgive my boldness, my lord, I must remind you. If you keep dragging your feet, that kid is going to catch up to us. Seeing me show up, the Ghost Meat teacher panicked and quickly agreed. Just kill that brat, and I'll give you 100 pig heads. I sensed the danger immediately. I tried to rush in and stop him. But it was too late. A red and a blue demon crawled right out of the Ghost Meat teacher's eyes. The second we made eye contact, the 2 of them launched a relentless, blindingly fast assault all over my body. I was completely powerless to fight back against them. I could only stand there and take the beating. They locked onto their target, aiming for a fatal strike. But what happened next left them absolutely stunned. I caught their fully charged attack flawlessly. When devouring demons allows you to inherit their powers, then, as a demon eater, all you have to do is devour every single monster in this world. Suddenly, a massive demon appeared right in the heart of Seoul. South Korea's strongest faction, the Heavenly Jade Pavilion, immediately arrived on the scene chanting ancient spells. Sun, moon, and stars. Gods of heaven and earth. Jade Emperor, and the Great Pangu. Please, drag Zijushi down to hell. Struck by the shamanic magic, Zijushi writhed in absolute agony. It tried to use its tentacles to slaughter these annoying humans. But to ensure the ritual wasn't interrupted, the monks stepped in. They used their own bodies to block the monster's attacks. Without hesitation, all the monks unbuckled their life-saving parachutes. We have to buy time, no matter what it takes. Even if it costs us our lives. In the end, we will reach the Pure Land. As the final verse of the chant echoed through the air, Ziyushi's body was pushed to the absolute brink of collapse. Yet the monster didn't care at all. So what if I go to hell? It roared. It's been so long since I've eaten this well. Besides, hell can't hold us anymore. Suddenly, Ziyushi's body began to rapidly swell. A second later, its massive body violently exploded. Countless severed tentacles went flying everywhere. However, Ziyushi's dying words left Jiu Ying completely bewildered. How could hell not hold them? What the hell was that monster babbling about? Just then, the voice of the heavenly jade Bodhisattva cracked through her earpiece. Jiu, we just detected another powerful demon. Take the monks who can still fight and head straight to campus A. The ghost meat teacher has shown up. For these demons to appear one right after the other. It looks like they have some serious backing behind the scenes. Receiving her orders, Jiu Ying stared down at the demon's wreckage. Before speeding off toward the next area. Smith, deploy 2 more monk squadrons immediately. Behind her, Smith was totally confused. Is the ghost meat teacher really that strong? I thought it was only a level 4 demon? You're dead wrong. Listen, every single level difference means the danger multiplies by over 10 times. Just one ghost meat teacher is equal to 10 baijushi of similar strength. And there's another thing, it has the ability to turn humans into half-demons. And those half-demons will just infect even more people. If we don't stop it right now, all of South Korea could be turned into half-demons in no time. What's worse, to protect its fragile body, the ghost meat teacher harbors 2 parasitic demons inside itself, disease and emotion. They are a nightmare to deal with. Together, they're known as the absolute strongest hand-to-hand fighters among level 4 demons. Facing the relentless combo attacks from disease and emotion, I was getting absolutely trashed. They were so damn fast I couldn't even land a counterattack. I have to lock down their speed. Thinking fast, I lunged and grabbed their pant legs. You're not getting away this time. I roared, opening my mouth wide, ready to swallow them both whole. But I couldn't believe it, I completely missed my ultimate strike again. It just vanished into thin air. And right then, to my absolute horror, I realized. The infected students from the school were swarming around me again. Right before my eyes, one of the students' eyes began to grotesquely mutate. A massive fist shot right out of her eye and punched me dead in the face. That's when it hit me. 2 demons were actually hiding inside my classmates' eyes. Wait, you're saying those 2 parasitic freaks are good at hand-to-hand combat? You really should have let me step in and help. I haven't thrown a punch in way too long, and I was really itching for a good fight. But they aren't just using normal combat skills. Any demon level 4 or higher has their own signature move, and the bizarre punching style of those 2 demons, sickness and passion, had me completely on the defensive. Even when I opened my jaws wide, trying to swallow them whole. I easily dodged it with that freakish speed of theirs. Hey kid, where are you looking? With that turtle speed of yours, you'll never catch us. You see, we can jump back and forth inside the bodies of these half-demons. At the speed of sound. This is our signature move, the ultimate power of sickness and passion. Half-demon hopscotch. Damn it, they're moving so fast my eyes can't even track them. There's no way for me to predict where they'll strike from next. I'm just standing here, taking a total beating. Like a helpless punching bag. Watching all this from the sidelines, Teacher Ghost Meat was absolutely thrilled. Looks like we're finally going to pull off the ultimate feat of killing the demon eater. In a bit, I'll just snatch up a few of these schoolyard cattle for tonight's dinner. My head was spinning, I felt like I was going to pass out. Am I really going to die here today, in such a pathetic, useless way? I have to find a way to fight back. But my punch hit nothing but air once again. I only struck their afterimage. And what I got in return was an even more brutal counterattack. No, if I fall right here, all my classmates, and Zhongbo, are going to get eaten by these monsters. Just then, the old spirit inside my stomach finally spoke up. Jiu Ying, hurry up and close your eyes. Before a swallowed demon is fully digested in your stomach. A demon eater can use its powers for an entire day. And the power of that dog demon you ate yesterday is its sense of smell. Just close your eyes, and focus on the scents all around you. Believe in yourself, boy. There isn't a single demon out there that can beat you. Because you are their natural enemy, the apex predator. Bam! I landed a solid punch right in the blue demon's face. It stared at me in absolute shock, unable to believe it actually got hit. But I wasn't about to give it a second chance. I opened my jaws wide and swallowed it straight into my stomach. Right now, my sense of smell was incredibly heightened, especially when it came to the scent of these demons. They smelled absolutely delicious. With one brutal punch, I sent the red demon crashing into the ceiling. Seizing the moment, I stretched my mouth wide open and successfully gobbled that one down into my belly too. Watching all this from the sidelines, Teacher Ghost Meat was completely terrified. He spun around, desperately trying to run away. This is way too dangerous. Trying to take him on alone is pure suicide. I've gotta go find the hell demons and get some backup. But right then, my nose caught the scent of an even more delicious meal, the fleeing Teacher Ghost Meat. Get out of my way. Don't block the door. But he forgot one crucial detail. A demon eater can immediately use the powers of the demons they just swallowed. Even if it only lasts for one single day. That's more than enough time for me.